there, my name is Kelly, and today I'm going to go over how to clean your canvas or whatever you've used of silicone before you finish it. Silicone's really great for producing lovely cells, but at the same time, as you can see, it produces a very shiny finish on your canvas. And you can even see it a little bit in here with the lights. And what that does is creates a residue that doesn't really mix very well with certain types of finishes. I haven't researched everything, but from what I've found, most types of finishes, it can really affect the quality and the longevity, or how long your work lasts, and then how good it looks when it's finished. So cleaning that silicone off is an important part of the process. I use cornstarch and a stiff brush. This is a brush from just, stenciling. And then I also have just a nice soft brush. Actually, you may see a little bit of cornstarch coming off of that. And I use that to just kind of finish the rest of the pieces. So, also gloves. A lot of people do this over the sink. I've seen videos, people doing it over the trash can. I prefer to sit and have a flat space to work on, as opposed to over a trash can or over a sink. And I just use an old cookie sheet to gather up all the cornstarch, and then when I'm done, I'll just take it to the trash can and pour it out. And if there's any usable cornstarch left, then I'll just put it back in the container. So I'll go ahead and start this process. I'll open the cornstarch, and it's just, regular cornstarch. I don't have a shaker container. That's something that I think I want to work on so that I can shake it. But I'll just put a little bit on. Oopsie. So sometimes it'll just come out, and we'll be able to fix that later. I'll just throw that top out by taking some of it. And this is why I like to use catch-all, like a cookie sheet, because then if things like this happen because you don't have a shaker container, it's really easy to clean up, and it's pretty darn contained. So yeah, the rest of it will be taken care of later, so I'm not too worried about it. That's good enough. Alright, so what I do is I'm going to shake some of this off here, and as you can see, I'll just take it and kind of gently rub it across the canvas. And actually, I'm wondering if I turn this off. Nope. If I turn this one off, will it help a little? No, it makes it too dark. Sorry, everybody. There, that's a little bit better here. Turn the light. So I just kind of rub it, not rubbing very hard, just enough to, and the cornstarch slides pretty easily. And I have all of my works down, so then I can just kind of, tap it on top. And you'll see that if you have some areas where it looks like the cornstarch is starting to absorb the silicone and it's looking a little bit wet, then I'll just rub a little more on. And then I just take my stencil brush and I work it in. And you'll see that some of it's starting to clump a little bit, and that's because it's absorbing the silicone. And I just rub it in a circular pattern. Really doesn't matter. I've seen videos doing different things. I choose a circular pattern because that's comfortable for me. It's what I'm used to from doing stenciling and other projects. And like I said, the cookie sheet's really nice because you have a flat surface, and you can do things like that. Now you'll see there's still silicone or cornstarch on it. You'll see in here it's a little bit of clump. So that's where some heavier parts of silicone were. And I just take the stencil brush and I go over it again. And you can see the cornstarch is coming off. More of it. And then I can do that again. And do that one more time. And the edges as well. Don't forget your edges. They're going to have silicone on them too. And this is where now I'll take the brush. I'll brush off my hands a little. And then I'll go ahead and pick up my piece. And I'll brush it off. And this softer brush really gets the pieces of cornstarch and the layer of cornstarch that just kind of sits there. And I'll go ahead and brush the back a little. I didn't clean it. I don't care. I won't back it. That's just part of being an artist. Okay, and that's it. And then you can see from the, let's turn this light around here a little more, that you don't really have the shine now. You just have brightness. Oh, hi, that's me. But you don't necessarily have that shiny part because the silicone is off, as compared to, let me set this over here because that one's done. Well, compared to the ones that have silicone, and see, you can see how shiny that is even before I clean it with cornstarch. So, and this has a bit of silicone on it because you can see it's starting to mat up or clump up a little bit. So I'll do this one. And I'll go ahead, and this is nice too because then, because that cornstarch did fall earlier, it's now not in the trash or down the sink. It's usable. And even though cornstarch isn't terribly expensive, I still like to be mindful of the supplies I use. All right. So, I'll just take the stencil and move it in a circular pattern. And that really gets into those pits and the little crevices where the silicone pools, because you know that's what's in your cells, and it helps to really clean everything out and get into all of those little spaces and all of those little divots, some of which we see and some of which we aren't so evident to the naked eye. And make sure you get your sides as well. And here you can see where some cornstarch really absorbs some of the silicone. So we'll go ahead and brush that off. And then I'll use the brush to get the rest off. Now this isn't the final step. I'm not going to film it, but it's really important to get a soft cloth and dampen it a little bit. Here, we'll get some of the cornstarch off my hand. To get a damp cloth or a soft cloth and have it damp, and then with clean hands, you know, because these have cornstarch on them. So with clean hands, I will then, once I'm done with this one, I will go ahead and take that soft cloth and just kind of rub it over. Now, as you can see, it catches the light, but the shine is gone because that silicone has been absorbed with the cornstarch. And the colors, if they seem a little muted, they'll pop back up once you have your finish on them. So don't worry about that. Now, taking that damp cloth is going to get these little crevices out and any little remaining parts of cornstarch, flour if you use that. I've seen some people use salt. To me, that's a little coarse, so I choose not to use that because I don't want to scratch the paint. And I don't know if salt would do that or not, so I'm a little skeptical. Anyway, I will spare you the time of doing this last piece, but after that, I'll take that soft damp cloth, wipe it off. Some people use a little bit of Dawn dish liquid in the water to clean it. I've heard that done. I just use a damp cloth and it seems to work just fine. And then let it sit, like I said, because it's been humid here. I'll let these pieces sit for another week before I go ahead and finish them. I'll use a varnish. I'll use a permanent varnish, Liquitex gloss varnish, and there's an F on the bottle in a circle, and that really just says that it's a finishing product. So for those of you who are looking for things, that's helpful. I only use coupons, so I got a 32-ounce bottle for something like $7 because I had a coupon and then take an extra certain percentage in sales and that kind of stuff. So don't ever pay full price because that bottle is $25. And I guess that's it. So thanks for watching, and I'm going to go ahead and finish up this piece and then make space for more pouring.